What's going on, everybody? I think I'm live. I think that this has been successful, and I hope that the link to the stream is public. Man, there's so many things that can go wrong every time you try to do a live stream. It's exhausting, honestly. But I'm seeing two comments, El Chapolin and somebody else named Jack Pineda, which is basically who I would be if my father was Mexican, are already in the chat here. Jack says Milan are an absolute joke, dude. So I'm just chilling with y'all. I'm gonna talk about stuff top of mind. This is just we're just broing out here. Really, that's what this is. I just watched Bologna, AC Milan. Awful game, bro. AC Milan sucks so much balls. It is crazy. That defense ain't very good. And João Felix. I was just thinking about this while I was making a tea. He was so much better as like a 19-year-old at Atleti than he is now. I mean, every time the man receives the ball, he just loses it like instantly. I turned it off in the 60th minute. Bologna went on to win. I'm not surprised. They should have won. Milan did nothing. Even Santi's assist kind of looked accidental. Leao was trash. You can't leave Pulisic on the bench, especially when you're going up against Bologna, who I'm pretty sure Milan would have gone to like 6th or something in the table. You guys know I'm a Serie A casual, but I'm just I still think the transfer is really good for Santi because he's still going up against really good teams, and that's what we want. And he's far from the finished product. I'm not sure if Coneixao is going to remain as the manager, but I would rather him be a Serie A and honestly struggle a little bit because at Feyenoord, there's like 4 big games a year when you play Ajax and PSV. I mean, Alkmaar are a good team as well. Otherwise, you playing, Open Net FC, whatever it is. It's just better for our boy to be there and to kind of, eat dirt a little bit. God, my boy Geraldo's in the chat, dude. I miss you, man. I miss balling with all the homies in Houston. The pickup in Buenos Aires. The competition is really good here, but you just don't have the squad. I'm playing with a bunch of Argentines. They flopping and they're falling on the ground. A couple Italians, they don't shower. It's like it's rough out here. I'm just showing them how we do it in the red, white, and blue. Victor says, "Hey Jack, how's it going?" It's going well, Victor. Appreciate you asking. Been super busy on the channel. If only y'all knew how many hours of unreleased content are on the channel right now. I mean, if I showed you guys the vault, right? If I opened up Gringotts and I showed you what we got behind the mirror right now, you guys would not be prepared. I got some bangers dropping. A couple of them are solo videos, ones that I've never seen topics like this done on YouTube. It's extremely ambitious. Will I be clipped and clowned on social media? Probably. But I think it's worth a shot, right? You got to start somewhere. Hopefully this massive, and I'm talking massive because it's going to be a long video. It's probably going to be like 45 minutes long, maybe an hour. Hopefully it drops next week. Depends because we have international football coming up, which I'm so excited about, but that also means I got to make CONMEBOL videos. We got CONCACAF Nations League. Oh my gosh. We have the AFC qualifiers, which I think this next window decides everything. And then I'm sure Europe is doing something too. They do something over there in the old continent. So yeah, there's just a lot going on, but I'm excited for everything. I think you guys are going to like it all. We got Joe Biden in the chat. Says, "Tell him, Jack." Victor says, "Felix and Leao are overrated." Rafael Leao, he's slightly overrated. He's just lazy. But like his talent is not overrated. He really is that guy. He's just lazy as hell. But João Felix, that man trash. I'm so sorry. But he's just trash. Jorge Penn says, "Getting my daily fix at Deadball TV. How's it going, brother? Please upload trades that would break the Prem in video." Oh yeah. Dude, so if you guys don't know, I think it was only an audio episode, but it was trades that would break the Premier League. And we posted some of these on our social. Y'all, should I just pull up the social, man? Some of the comments we get on here are so funny because let me see. I'm gonna sign in as Deadball TV. And we'll review these together. But people get mad, man. By people, I mean Europeans get really, really mad. Like, what's it? Where's a trade one? This is probably a trade one. Yeah, so this was like trading Martin Odegaard for Bernardo Silva and Savinho to Man City. Now, whether you think that's a great trade or not, we're just dicking around. And we always get these comments, bro, every single time. This isn't the NBA. Bro, I freaking love these, man. Oh my God. And this guy says there's no trading in football. I think he's more just saying like the facts. But again, it's just like, bro, and of course I commented on my own video. We're just trying to have fun, man. Some of y'all take it really, really seriously. Which is great. God, some of these are just my favorite one. Let me talk about that. I think my favorite comments are like, not everybody should have a podcast or make podcast equipment more expensive. Those are like my favorite, dude. Those are just so funny. Midway says he said he'd make the stream, and you did make the stream. Good evening, Monocle. Joao Felix is genuinely an eye test merchant. I wouldn't even say that. He kind of fails the eye test. He's not an eye test merchant. He's like a streets won't forget compilation merchant. That's really what Joao Felix is. Do you live in Argentina permanently now? Yes, I do. Until further notice. Are you going to watch the AFC Asian qualifiers? I've actually renounced Asian football. I will never be covering that continent ever again. Yes, of course. I'm going to watch every single game. I get up at 5 a.m. to watch these games. I literally destroy my work schedule so that I can do this. Bro never did the in-person vlog live streams in Argentina. Yeah, that was pretty tough because half the trip was like me and Connor meeting his entire family, and he hadn't met his family before. So for us to just show up with the video camera and start vlogging would have been a little awkward, I think. But I would love to do something like that at some point. The in the life, that's like 50K subs. We drop something like that. Kevin Poylet says, hey, it's the Mexico rep for the CONCACAF Council. Man, RIP CONCACAF Council. I don't know if that's even a thing anymore. Maybe I was deposed. Did they vote me off the council? Huh. Maybe my name wasn't Mexican enough. They found somebody else. I just brought him on. Jose, showing that he is a frequent viewer of the channel. Ojo con Paraguay. That is facts. Hey, and how about Diego Gomez with Brighton? That was such a good game. Who did Brighton just beat? Bournemouth, right? 2-1. Such a good game. He was really, really good. The game overall was okay, but Diego Gomez looked like the truth. I only care about international football for the most part. Mr. Ditkovich, this is very relevant to me because I'm in Buenos Aires. Boca Juniors just suck. Like, they kind of suck, but Argentine football sucks. Like, it's obviously like a big problem how much the Brasileiro is just strangling every other league in South America. The amount of investment, how wealthy the clubs are, the level of the individual players. They're probably going to win 13 out of the next 15 Libertadores. They might go 14 for 15, something in there. Praying to God, Independiente de Valle just squeak one out there for Ecuador. God, that'd be so sick. They probably won't, though. But you cannot lose to Alianza Lima because the Peruvian league is just cooked. Like, I saw the biggest derbies in person. The best players, the best teams, they all suck. They all suck. I'm so sorry. I wish that Peruvian football was better. I think CONMEBOL is more fun when Peru is better. Alianza Lima, they would get destroyed in the MLS. I genuinely believe that. And the fact that they eliminated Boca, I'm not sure if this is going to affect the Argentine national team, right? Because the Argentine national team isn't dependent on Argentine domestic players. Everybody's just exported, but the league is going to shit. It absolutely is. Let me see. Europeans live in a world where the top 5 leagues are the only leagues. That is a fact. Lamine Yamal KFC. Absolutely. BCT Football says, on behalf of Europeans, I apologize for our arrogance, bro. Hey, you don't have to look. First off, you're not responsible. I'll leave that up there. You're not responsible for the arrogance of Europeans. And something that must be said. Everybody's arrogant, or a better word is everybody's ignorant, right? Like going back to, is there something I can pull up for y'all? The Jamie Carragher thing, right? Like what was the massive John Obi Mikel responded today. Yeah, let me see if I can find that. Obi Mikel. Let me see if I can find that because I kind of thought that he missed the mark here. Like I think the situation is kind of blown up in the wrong way. And let me explain myself here. Oh, wait. How do I make myself smaller? Is that too small? Is that the best? I never know how to. Oh, jeez, Louis. Oh, no, that's terrible. There we go. There's the one. I have like 15 layouts here. So here's what John Obi Mikel said about Jamie Carragher. The African Cup of Nations is as big as the Euros. I played in it and won it. It's not in his effing place to discredit the AFCON. He sits there week in, week out, teaching and coaching people on how to win the Premier League, and he never won it. The only thing I didn't like about this is that Jamie Carragher has become the bad guy when the bad guy is really the media. Do you guys know what I mean? It's like arresting a local drug lord when the entire cartel is still out there. It's like, okay, great, you captured this guy who was selling marijuana to high schoolers, but like the Jefe Kingpin is still on the loose. Why aren't you talking about that guy? Like, because now everybody's just piling in on Carragher because I feel like it got a little easy to do. Like it really, really snowballed. And I do think what he said was taken and twisted. I made a whole video on this. He was largely right in what he's saying. My biggest beef with Carragher is that he is responsible for the AFCON being undervalued. But it's not Jamie Carragher doesn't run BBC Sports. He doesn't run Sky Sports. He's just a pundit. So whoever is the guy in the boardroom who says, hey, what content pieces are we going to run for this season? AFCON isn't on there. The Asian Cup isn't on there. So to only point at Jamie Carragher is kind of lazy. And it kind of feels like now everybody's just beating him up when he's just one of the guys, right? But again, he's not the Don. He's not the problem, is Jamie Carragher. And also, John Obi Mikel was saying, like, you shouldn't be a pundit because you haven't won the Premier League. You shouldn't be criticizing. Now you sound like Shaq. And you don't want to sound like Shaq. That dude's got the worst analysis of any basketball legend. Shaquille O'Neal's entire personality, if you guys don't watch the NBA, is he believes that nobody can criticize players. Nobody can cover the game unless you have what he literally calls G5 certification, meaning you have won an NBA championship. He's literally said this on podcasts. If you don't have G5 classification or G5 credential classification, something you shouldn't be able to talk on the game. And it's just this cringe gatekeeping of legitimate criticism in football. Like John Obi Mikel, somebody doesn't need to win the Premier League to be a pundit and talk about the Premier League, bro. Come on. Like that's just a stupid, it's a stupid argument. It's kind of a stupid thing to say. Like now you're just piling on. Now you're just being a bully. You're not even trying to make a point anymore. You're just kind of being an ass. So I don't know. It'd be like going to a restaurant, right? Let's say you go to a 3-star Michelin restaurant and you eat the soup. You sit down, they put the ratatouille in front of you. You take a bite, you say, this is bad. And then the waiter's like, well, you're not a Michelin star chef. What do you know about good food? Brother, I have taste buds. I don't need to have gone to some Parisian bakery school for 10 years, basically as an indentured servant, to know when the soup sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is when athletes get too sensitive. And I really do think that John Obi Mikel just got hella emotional, man. Hella emotional here. Oh, wow, we got a super chat. Angel Batista. The La Liga title race this year has been more exciting and possibly the league in general has been more interesting than the Premier League. First off, I really appreciate the super chat, man. Second, why don't we pull up the table? You've given me something else to talk about. Thank you so much. Nothing was prepared in anticipation of this live stream. I was just going to answer whatever you guys wanted to ask me. We'll pull up La Liga. I think the interesting thing about La Liga is that you can see a bit more of the strategy in the games. I watch the Premier League still pretty often. I don't watch every single game like I used to because I'm more focused on La Liga now. But it's just so fast paced, man, that it just looks like a 100-meter relay out there at times. I like that La Liga sides take their time a little bit more, which does also equate to more boring at times. Now, if you want to talk about like more interesting title race, of course La Liga is more interesting because Liverpool has a however many point gap. And Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atleti are right there. Even Athletic Club have been there the entire season, and they've never been mentioned a single time as a serious contender. But the league overall is really interesting to watch. If we go to the Prem, I mean, I'm enjoying the Man City downfall. Can I say that? Maybe the title race isn't as fun, but I'm enjoying the Man City downfall. Chelsea, kind of mid. Newcastle, kind of mid. Bournemouth are a great story. Brighton continued to be pretty exciting. Fulham, I can't really recommend watching them. I don't enjoy them that much, but they're a good team. There's so much talent in the Prem. I just feel like it's not always utilized to its maximum potential. AC Milan versus Boca. Who wins? AC Milan on pens. Can I just say that? Anfield Roar says, good evening, Jack. Really enjoy your stuff, lad. Big love from Liverpool here. Wow. I like your deep dives on Asian, African, CONMEBOL regions. Bunch of alcohol emojis. I appreciate that, man. And I am rooting for you guys in the Premier League. Am I rooting for Liverpool in the Champions League? I can't because you're on Atleti's side of the bracket. What a banger matchup that would be. I'm sure Liverpool fans would rather play Atleti than Real Madrid. So you're probably rooting for us too. But appreciate that, man. Cheers. Pool is upset because AC Milan suck. Just stay the course, man. And send João Felix back to Chelsea. Blah blah says, who would you want to make it out of the World Cup group from Japan, Ecuador, Greece, and Ghana? Japan, 100%. Sorry, that's the layup here. I mean, I like Ghana. I really like Ecuador, man. I have the loyalty to Greece because I lived there. I would say Ecuador because this is a golden generation. And they probably have like 6 more years left on the window. Now, the next generation of Greece looks pretty beast mode, but it's still young. So I'm okay if the next World Cup Greece got grouped, but then 2030, I need the Greeks making it out of the group. I'll be diplomatic and say it like that. Fun question from Bintang. Which Asian players would ball in the Argentine league? Any of them that have a first touch, vision, and a shot would ball in the Argentine league. Can you beat your man off the dribble? If so, you would have a great time in the Argentine league, especially like a Cam. Any Cams, like Egongen would completely cook in this league because there's just not a lot of central creative playmakers. Ayman Hussein would be extremely interesting to see in Argentine football because it's basically Greg Berhalter, U.S. men's national team CONCACAF ball, where it's like cross, 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 and Ayman Hussein is quite good at that. So that would be interesting. Sardar Azmoun would be also fast. Like, how does Sardar Azmoun perform on River Plate? That would be something to witness. João Felix says blackmail and Conechal. I'm so mad that we're talking about João Felix. Like, he's genuinely one of my least favorite footballers ever. And I know this is my fault because I mentioned him in the beginning. But I got nothing left to say about this guy. He's a fraud. He's an absolute fraud. And he should probably go back to Benfica and just be a backup. I don't know. Mr. Dikovic says, Jack, I feel like club football is miles better than international football right now, and I used to think the opposite. Are you talking about it like in terms of quality of play or stakes? Try to clarify. I'll come back to that. First Flight Film, love to hear your thoughts about CONCACAF Nations League. Agree with you that Canada needs silverware. This may be their best shot, but Mexico and the U.S. look much better in their last November matches. I mean, for Mexico, we got cooked by Honduras one time, and then Honduras kind of threw the game in Mexico City against the United States. I know that was a good win, but we basically won because Raul Jimenez just took over. You can't really bank on that happening again. I don't know. I think for Canada, you can't look at Mexico and say they're better. because Mexico's not better than Canada right now. There's not really any statistic to, I mean, what metric do we want to talk about besides like history? History is the only thing that Mexico has right now. Players in Europe, Canada clears. Striker position, Canada, they're better. I'm not going to say they clear, but have you seen some of the commitments they've gotten recently? They got 2 Davids now, as if Jonathan David wasn't enough. I know Mexico's got Santi, Raul, Henry Martin, dare I say. But Canada's still the favorites there. Better form, better performance at the Copa America. Who looked better when they played the United States last? Canada murdered the United States. Mexico, the United States couldn't do anything with the ball. They couldn't pass, but it's not like Mexico just blitzed them like Canada did. It was a beatdown. Don't get me wrong. Mexico didn't squeak by, but Canada are the second favorite. And dare I even say favorite just because of some of the injuries that the United States have going into the Nations League. I'm going to do a full video on this, but if Canada got to host the final for whatever reason, I'd be putting money on Canada. I really would. Now, that's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor, although you should open up a Roth IRA just for your retirement's sake. That's the only thing I'll say. But Canada are better right now. I think so. And it's going to be really interesting if Pochettino can get a trophy, because that's not guaranteed. I would know. I'm a Spurs fan. I love that man, but it's not guaranteed. Let me see. G14. Does he say G14 classification? Y'all think Shaq thought of that himself, or did Kobe or wait? Oh, we're going back. Oh, damn. I'm like 8 minutes behind on the I'm 8 minutes behind on the chat. Are you going to be answering questions? Yes, I'm trying to right now. Problem is I take too long to answer them, and then they just like stack up. CONCACAF Gold Cup and Oceania Cup shouldn't exist. Just combine with CONMEBOL and Asia. Some people would be in favor of that. Some people wouldn't. I mean, the Oceania teams would get murdered in Asia. That's kind of the problem outside of New Zealand. And the CONCACAF teams would get murdered by CONMEBOL outside of the Big Four, maybe. So, well, I think it might make things a bit simpler in terms of like make the Copa America, the Americas tournament every 2 years, and just throw everybody in it. I'm down for that. Does that mean we make a America's Nations League? Sure. I see more value for that for the smaller teams, not so much more for every team that went to the Copa America, for example. There would be pros and cons. I just don't see this happening because I don't see the money adding up. Somebody's going to want more of the pie. The other team's going to say no. The weaker teams, they probably won't like it because their chance of ever winning something are like to 0, or to the World Cup are like 0. So like New Zealand would be losing something by joining Asia because now they don't get that at least qualifier spot from OFC. Now they have to go through 3 rounds of qualifying. They wouldn't make it. They simply wouldn't. You think the Fiji Islands? This ain't rugby, bro. I mean, they probably wouldn't make it either. Thoughts on the NBA on NBC coming back? I think it's great. It's a really good show. I enjoy it. Do you think Bolivia beats Uruguay or Brazil in their suffocation stadium? Not Brazil. I just can't see Brazil losing that game, but Uruguay potentially. Absolutely. AFCON is special. I'll never forget way back in 2012 when Zambia beat Yaya Toure and Drogba's Ivory Coast. AFCON is crazy. Like, that's why I love it. Is this the weakest the Prem has been in the past 5 to 6 years? That's an interesting question. I assume people think it's the weakest because you look at Nottingham Forest and where they are, and Newcastle making a push, and Bournemouth and Brighton being right there, and Manchester United and Tottenham being ass. But you could look at that at strength as well. I think the better litmus test is what do these teams end up doing in Europe, right? Like if Aston Villa make a run in the Champions League, if they meet Liverpool in the quarterfinals or semifinals, whatever it would be. I think it's the quarterfinals. Yeah, it's the quarterfinals. If Arsenal beat PSV and they make the semis as well, seems like the league's pretty strong to me. We'll see what Chelsea can do in the Conference League. They should win it. They're hands down the best team. They should win it. Fiorentina are good as well, and they'll play them or Betis in the final, but they got to beat both of them. I'm sorry. No excuse. And then Europa League. Can Spurs win the Europa League? That would be mental. Like, imagine Spurs win the Europa League and they finish 12th in the Prem. It's like, okay, does that show that the Prem's weak, or does that show that the Prem is strong because a team in 12th in the effing table won the Europa League? I don't know. I think it's got more parity. Like, we've had giants fall off. Even Chelsea, they're beatable. United suck. City are not who they used to be, especially defensively. Even Arsenal, they've kind of been rattled with injuries. This could be more of a one-off type season, so I would enjoy it while it lasts. Ahmed says, good afternoon, Jack. Love all your videos, and they're so good and reviewed nicely. I appreciate that, man. And we can all agree on one thing. Man United deserve relegation. I would love for Man U to get relegated, not because I hate the club, but just because think about the clout. Think about how many videos could be made about that, the storylines. I mean, it would be an immortalized event. We would never forget about the time that Man U were relegated along with Southampton and Leicester. Like, come on, man. That would be an amazing story. Even United fans, I'm sure, will be able to admit that. Where are the shades? They've been MIA. Dude, I think my shades got snatched at a restaurant. Really, really sad. I paid $5 for them in Ecuador, so it's not like I took a financial hit, but I would really like to get those back because I do miss them. And the sun is so bright here. Belbula, what's up? He says, what's up, Jack? Hope you're doing well. Same to you, man. Seems like your favorite CAF coach is going to Libya. I assume you're talking about Aliou Cisse. I saw a tweet about that. Is that real? Is Aliou Cisse going to Libya? I mean, if that's true, shout out to Libya. But Aliou Cisse not getting the upgrade? My man does all that with Senegal, makes round of 16 of the World Cup, and he goes to Libya? That's kind of crazy, man. Like, Vincent Kompany gets relegated with Burnley and gets the Bayern job. I'm telling you, man, the European passports, life is not fair. You do not get the same opportunities. That's all I'm going to say. Now, maybe he wanted to go to Libya and there's a project. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I think Aliou Cisse deserves to be managing a top national team. But if he goes to Libya, I wish him the best, and I'll pay attention. That's a great appointment for the Libyan FA. FaZe Big Rig says, what's up, Jack? Supreme Galaxies in here. Brandon Blanco, thoughts on El Salvador new hiring, if you're aware. Gosh, remind me. They hired, was it Honduras' old coach or Colombia's old coach? I need to look at that one. I've been kind of out of the Central American game recently, so let me look into that, and maybe I can share my thoughts on Twitter or something. Ranger says David Ornstein said English clubs like Fulham and Ipswich were interested in Alistair Johnston. Do you think he should leave Celtic for a better league? Dude, Fulham would be fire. Also, Alistair Johnston out right, Jedi Robinson left, Raul Jimenez up top, CONCACAF triangle of death. Absolutely. Ipswich would be interesting because their survival is in the balance. Alistair Johnston, the championship. I don't know. I've told you guys so many times, I can't grade the Scottish League. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's better for him to be at Celtic or at Ipswich in the championship. It's probably more competitive in the championship, game in, game out, but from a confidence, from a vibe standpoint, probably from an attacking standpoint, developing those skills, especially, it's better to be at Celtic because you're going to have the ball. You're going to be the better team. You're going to win trophies. You're going to be feeling yourself. If you're at Ipswich and you're in 15th in the championship, you might be a little down. You might get benched. I don't know. So, but Fulham would be sick because Fulham won't be relegated. That would be Marco Silva, great coach. That would be a really interesting move. Ipswich would be a bit interesting. Jed, did you play footy in college on a scholarship? No. Footy was not my sport until I graduated. I was a wrestler through high school and college. Pula says he hates Connor. Man ain't even here to defend himself. Canada will crash out in the group stage again at the World Cup. Really? That's kind of a hot take. I don't think it's going to happen, especially with the expanded World Cup. That would be so embarrassing. Ivan Kiki, appreciate the super chat. Love the channel, man. Hot take. Oh, Jesus. I saw Santi in the Mexican flag, and I got scared. Santi is one of the top 4 strikers in the world, and his goal contributions are there to back him up. Okay. Top 4 strikers in the world. He's top 4 in CONCACAF. Can we agree on that? Top 4 CONCACAF, Santi Jimenez? I think that's fair. I mean, I still don't think you can say he's better than Jonathan David. Is Jonathan David top 3 striker in the world? No, he's not. He's up there, but he's not. Is Santi on 20 goals like Lewandowski is at Barcelona right now? Maybe because of the strength of Santi, how all his goals come from inside the box. It's very similar to Lewandowski. Maybe. He's a bit more clinical than Lua over the whole season. Not prime Lua, 36-year-old Lua. Is he better than Harry Kane? Hell no, I'm sorry. Is he better than Alexander Isak? Hell no, I'm sorry. Better than Haaland? We got to be careful with the stats, man, because does he have as many goals as Chris Wood in Nottingham Forest? No. Is he a better footballer than Chris Wood? Yes, but you got to look at everything, man. And I can't put Santi in the top 10 until I see a full body of work at AC Milan and at least a little something more with the Mexican national team. That's all I'm going to say. And I know people will be like, oh, well, Mexico sucks. He doesn't get the service. There was a time when Canada sucked too. And guess who still balled out? Jonathan David. Like, you got to still carry the team. You have to. So we still got to wait on some stuff there. Which Asian players could shine at an under-23 World Cup? God, that's a random question. At an under-23 World Cup? Can we talk about the U20 World Cup since we just saw qualification for that? I've said his name multiple times, but Saudi Arabian center back Mohamed Barnawi looks like a beast. I think he's at Ronaldo's club in Saudi Arabia and doesn't play at all, which I'm not surprised by that. But that guy was really good at the U20 Asian Cup. He could definitely go play Europe and like Belgian league, Dutch league, something like that. Dude is a stud. What did David promise? That's hilarious. Promise David, if you guys don't know, he just committed to Canada. He's a striker. Chat, remind me, was he Belgian? Was that his other nationality? I know he had like the option. He filed a one-time switch, but I don't remember where it was from. I think it was from Belgium. Nabuto's in the chat. IRA, bro, dropping crazy. Hey, I try, man. We talk ball, but we also talk life here on DBTV. I am 15 minutes behind the chat. Oh my gosh. I'm going to speed through some of these. I'm so sorry. Says, hey, Jack, congrats on y'all for 15K. I appreciate that, man. Who are your top 3 favorites for the UCL? Okay. PSG, Liverpool, Inter Milan. Those are my top 3. I think Inter and Barca are tied. I think if Barca play Leverkusen, they win and make the final. If Barca play Inter, I'm going to go hipster like I always do and say they get upset and Inter makes the final. And I don't really think Real Madrid's a top 3 favorite this year. Of course, they could win it. They're freaking good. They're really freaking good. They just have a tough path. If they were on Barca's side of the bracket, they're making the final. They're going to beat Inter. They're going to beat everybody else over 2 legs. Real Leverkusen, 2-legged. Banger, by the way. That'd be so great. But we're not going to get that. Javier Gomez. Oh, we're getting in trouble here. Hot take. I agree with Jamie Carragher and everything he said. Oh, my Lord. Okay. I already touched on this, but I'll touch on it again because there's more of y'all in the chat. Carragher's right that AFCONs don't matter for the Ballon d'Or. They should, though. That's the problem. And I don't understand the counter argument from some Europeans where they say, well, African teams haven't won the World Cup, so it's not a good competition. Guys, It is relative, right? An achievement is only good if the circumstances were. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no, the mic died. Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back. See, the mic knew I was cooking and then it just disconnected. Okay. The reason, let me try that again. The reason it was impressive when David killed Goliath is because Goliath was supposed to win, right? Goliath was a big ass dude. I imagine him as like a Titan from Attack on Titan. Okay, dude was a big guy. That's why it's impressive, because David wasn't supposed to win, right? Everything is more impressive if you're the underdog. So when people say like, oh, the AFCON's not good because an African team hasn't won the World Cup. First off, Morocco just made the semifinal. I would say that's pretty good. Second, everybody knows Ghana should have made it when they lost to Uruguay on penalties. So that's 2 African examples in the last 4 World Cups where we should have or did have a semifinalist. Moving on from that, that's not a good argument for saying that the AFCON is not impressive because it is relative, right? Mo Salah plays with way more talent at Liverpool than he does with Egypt. And with Liverpool, he's on either the first, second, or if you want to hate, the 3rd most talented team on the Prem. When he goes to effing Egypt, he is not with as much talent as fucking Vincent Abubakar has at Cameroon. He doesn't have the talent of Ivory Coast and Simone Adingra. He doesn't have the talent of a Nigeria. He doesn't have the talent of a Senegal. He certainly doesn't have the talent of a Morocco. He doesn't have the talent of an Algeria. The other teams, is he more talented than South Africa? Yeah. Are they more talented than Tunisia? They finished. So yes. Are they more talented than Ghana? Not really. Ghana just suck. So it is more impressive of an achievement for Mo Salah to go to Egypt, right, and to win the tournament because he's not the favorite in terms of talent. That's why I think the whole, African teams haven't won a World Cup, I don't really think that's an argument. Also, we cannot discount the improbabilities that happen in a tournament itself. It's like the people who said, the U.S. would win the Asian Cup easily. It's like, how can you say that? What data point do you have to suggest that the United States would just win the Asian Cup? You have to go to West Africa. You have to play in these conditions. Or you go to North Africa and you got to play in a noisy Moroccan stadium with an environment you maybe had never seen before, and you got to win that game. Then you got to win 3 more knockouts. Hopefully you don't lose on penalty kicks along the way. Like, this shit is hard. So when Ivory Coast win the AFCON, that is super important. And if there's a player who balls out for Ivory Coast, they win the AFCON, and he's got 25 GA in the Prem or in Serie A or in La Liga, that should be a factor. But instead, we look at the AFCON like somebody just won the Community Shield on penalties. It's not the same thing. It is extremely difficult. So that's what I don't like about downplaying the tournament is the European Championships on average more talented than the African Cup of Nations? 100%. It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter. Because, again, it's relative. Are the Euros, do they have more ballers than the AFC Asian Cup? Yes. But, again, it doesn't matter. Because it's relative. Who won the Euro? Who won the AFCON? Who won the Asian Cup? What players did they have on the team? That's what matters. It's less impressive if Japan win the Asian Cup because they're supposed to. But if Sung Kyung-min and South Korea win it, well, that's probably not a good example because they're also a favorite. But I don't know. We don't have a Ballon d'Or candidate from Asia for me to really pick on. Maybe you could have said Son a couple years ago, but not now. But I just don't like that we downplay this. I really, really don't, because it seems to only apply to non-Europeans, right? I saw some people saying with Lewandowski in Poland that it's just clear the same rules don't apply because Lewandowski's what at the time was balling out in the Bundesliga, but Poland sucked in major tournaments. Got knocked out in the round of 16 against round of 16 was Euro 20. No, what am I saying? That was the World Cup. I'm getting my dates mixed up. It's been a long day at work. The point is, you cannot diminish the AFCON or the Asian Cup or the Copa America. And it's hilarious to me that the Copa America is even included because these motherfuckers don't watch the Copa America. They don't. They don't watch the Copa because it's the same time as the Euros. Let's be real. Copa America was the worst national team tournament last summer. I wish I could disagree. Colombia were amazing to watch. Costa Rica was a great story, but they didn't make it out of the group. I enjoyed some of the chaos in Group C with the United States getting grouped. Like, that was fantastic. But the entire upper half of Mexico's group, y'all, was diabolical. It was terrible. Group A with Argentina and Canada was really bad. I think Canada are also a really great story from the Copa America. But again, that's a great point. Like, it wasn't a good tournament. Okay, all right, shit. God, am I really bro? I ain't even 30 yet. This is crazy. Jack overstaying his visa, yes. Goat vacation spot? Vibe, Seoul, South Korea. Beach, Greece. Food, either Mexico City or Japan. Teach me how to Riz. Julian, I'm sorry, man. I mean, either you got it or you don't sometimes. I mean, I was just born with this God-given ability, and I don't know if I could translate it to you. Where's Jake? Jake is repairing his house that he just bought. He just bought a house. So shout out to Jake. He's making big boy moves. He's doing great. He might be joining me in South America at some point in the next couple months. Thoughts on I missed the super chat. My bad, Pablo. Thoughts on Alex Baena? One sec. Thoughts on Alex Baena maybe joining Atleti? That would be incredible. I'm curious how he would work with his defensive work rate. Also, let me turn the light on for a sec because it's getting a little dark here. Or maybe I can edit the camera settings. 1 second, everybody. This might make me freeze. I'm going to turn this up. Okay, I should be back now. Oh, Lord almighty. It looks terrible. We're just going to keep rolling with it. That'd be an interesting move. I don't know. Do you think iShowSpeed is doing a better job of spreading the football gospel in America than CBS? Can I say yes, but not in the right way? Does that make sense? I think that I think what iShowSpeed is doing is cool, and I admire it. My only concern, and this might not happen, and it's nothing against him personally, but my only concern is I don't like the entire footballing game being memified. You know what I mean? Where like everybody's just a troll and nobody takes it seriously because I take it seriously. So I don't want to see that. Like if the price of popularity is everybody's just an uninformed moron and we're just making memes about Cristiano Ronaldo for the rest of our lives, I don't want to be popular. You know what I'm saying? But if he can get people to care about the game and maybe inspire other people to be creators and talk about the stories that I find interesting and that I don't even know about that are super cool that people should know about, then yeah, I would say so. Do I think Trump will rig the World Cup? I've been really curious how he would do that. I don't think Trump cares enough about football to rig. Now, if like France was playing the NFL All-Stars in an international Super Bowl, it would absolutely be rigged. Like Trump cannot afford to have the United States lose to France in our game. But in the World Cup, I don't even think he cares. I don't even know if he knows a single player. I bet you he doesn't. Johan Vasquez needs to leave soon. Appreciate the super chat, Javier. I mean, it's a good place. It's a good place. It's a good level for him. I think Juventus would be cool. I wouldn't want to watch Juventus. I don't like watching Juventus, but it would be, it would be a good shout for Johan. If he wants to have the, 3 or 4 years at a truly elite club in Italy, I think that would be cool. But I wouldn't want him to go to like La Liga or something like that. I think Italy's a great place. He's already at the age where I'm not sure how much better he's going to get. It would be cool for the clout, though. Pula says Genoa are pretty good. He's not better than that as someone that watches him. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna break into truly elite. I think he's a very good center back. That's it. Like, period. He's never gonna enter elite or world class status. Absolutely not. Are you going to any World Cup or Club World Cup game? Club World Cup, hell no. World Cup, yeah, I would love to. I just need to balance like going to the games and like the channel. That's gonna be the Sun should move to a big club. I want to highlight this. I thought DBTV was Dragon Ball TV. Oh, that's hilarious. I never thought of that. I guess it is. Was everybody saying Nigerian in the chat? I must have missed something. Oh God, I'm so far behind everybody. Any other microphone disconnected? Just like Onana's brain against Ipswich. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Okay. Video can't handle his facts. Hey, yo, Jamie Carragher, unplug my mic. Jack, do you like horror movies? Not really. Dude, I saw what's it called? Hereditary. Hell no, dude. Hell no, dude. I couldn't sleep for like a week. That stuff, I hate possession stuff. Monster movies, werewolf, vampire, zombie, give it to me. That's fine. But the possession stuff freaks me out. No, I never watched WWE, actually, ever. What new old anime you been watching? I'm rewatch. It's not an anime, but I'm rewatching Invincible with my girlfriend because I want to watch season 3. So I'm like, hey, either we rewatch the whole damn thing, or I'm just gonna start watching season 3 without you. So we started watching from the beginning, and she's completely freaking hooked and loves it. Jack, who's okay? Well, I think I just let the cat out of the bag there. Yeah, that's my girlfriend. I love how everybody was like, the editor knew what he was doing. The editor was me. That was hilarious on that video. Who had the worst takes in Lengua de la Liga, in your opinion? Oh, who has the worst takes? I think this is interesting. God, the worst take on Lengua de la Liga was Andre saying Conor Gallagher would finish with 20 GA in the league. I like that. That was never going to happen. I think either that or him saying Endrick was the 7th best signing of the offseason were probably the worst takes, individual takes on Dead Ball TV. I think it's a great show. I love our dynamic. Jose is, of course, very protective and bullish of Barcelona. Andre is very biased and protective of Real Madrid. So it works out quite well. Michael's the hipster, loves Athletic Club. I kind of like Athletic Club too, being a hipster myself. And I think I'm the only English-speaking Atleti fan on YouTube. So it's kind of cool to carry that flag. It's a great show. I just saw the Unk answer our questions. Jesus. This is an interesting one. Who would win a combined Asian 11 versus South America? Look, the Asian best 11, I think, would score. But I think if they played a full 90 minutes, I think the South American best 11 would probably win 4-1, something like that, because the quality of defenders in South America is so clear of everything Asia has. It's not even funny. Same with goalkeepers, man. You'd have Allison in the sticks for South America. Who would be the goalkeeper for goddamn AFC? It would probably be Zion Suzuki, and if it's not him, it's Matty Ryan from Australia. And if it's not him, who the hell is it? Luftala from Bahrain? I mean, Asia's cooked at the back. Really, really cooked at the back. If Qatar win another Asian Cup, should they just cancel it? All right, chat, let me know right now. Are you guys interested in a video where I analyze this Qatar generation? Because I already think they're goated. And if they won another Asian Cup, if they become the second team to three-peat an Asian Cup, everything I thought I knew about Asia will be shattered. So if that's something you want to see, let me know down below. What else do we have here? Gallagher's a lung capacity merchant. Absolutely. Like the guy can't really pass, to be honest. And Barrios is already better than him. So, I mean, he's a great depth signing. He can step in and do a job, but 20 GA was insane. Do you think the political... Oh, sorry, Jack, you like the new black and blue suit for Invincible? I haven't seen season 3 yet. Like I said, I'm rewatching the whole show. I'm on the season 1 season finale now. What was this one? Do you think the political beef would cause more tensions for potential U.S. men's national team versus Canada final? Hold on, I'm gonna turn the light on for this one because I got something to say about this. Holy hell! All right, okay. God damn it, Jesse Marsh. God damn it, you did it. Okay, well now hold on. Let me turn the brightness down. I look like a... What was his name from Twilight? Edward? There we go. That looks better. I look normal again. Why did I not turn the light on 30 minutes ago? Okay, so let me pull up exactly what Jesse Marsh said. Because I thought, oh, this was a great one. I'm so glad there's like 100 of you guys on right now. Let me see. I'm just gonna type in Marsh. You guys know I love to get political. I'm a political science major, if you guys didn't know. Let me see. Where is it? Can I share my screen here? Yeah, let me share my screen here. Time to land in hot water. Hot water. I love how everybody else is like, I don't really want to get political. I'm like, Jesse Marsh, Donald Trump, opening segment here. What did he say? I have a message for Don. Lay off the ridiculous rhetoric about Canada being the 51st state. As an American, I'm ashamed of the arrogance and disregard we've shown one of our historically oldest, strongest, and most loyal allies. No, he said, where's something else? Oh, God, what did he say? Where did he talk about Canada, though? To hear it from Jesse Marsh was really powerful. Well, I'm sure it was really powerful. Alistair Johnson, you ain't trying to get benched. Deep rooted. Oh, here it is. Canada values fairness and unity. It's a place that I've learned as the national team coach where people believe that the differences make them stronger. It's one of those things I've enjoyed most about our team is... Okay, interesting here. I just kind of feel like for Jesse Marsh, bro, it's like, I don't know. Who are you speaking to on the ground where you feel like Americans don't like diversity? I mean, I'm from Houston, Texas, bro. Like, nobody cares. Nobody, like, it's not even really an issue. Nobody talks about it. I know in like the Midwest and stuff, like generally the more, I guess, whiter parts of the United States where diversity is just not really much of a thing. I'm not going to say people are more racist there, but I would say they're more like ignorant and just like they just don't know because they didn't grow up with, you know, a Mexican friend. They didn't have an Asian friend. They didn't have a black friend, anything like that. So they just don't know how to act. But I don't know. I thought his comments were a little interesting. I'll zoom in so people can... Like Canada deep rooted in decency. Sure. I mean, is the United States deep rooted in hate? I mean, I don't think so. I think we have a great country. I think we have problems like everybody else. It just, I don't know, kind of came off as a little bit of a emotional statement from Jesse Marsh. You can agree or disagree if you want. I just thought it was interesting how he went there. The president, Donald Trump's rhetoric on Canada being the 51st state. I don't know. I didn't take that seriously. Did anybody else take that seriously? I was just like, oh, he's tweeting again. He's talking again. I don't know, man. Will this fuel the fire of the rivalry? I guess. I mean, he's basically, it depends. Like, I don't think the players on the U.S. men's national team are going to be like, oh, Jesse Marsh thinks we're not decent people, or Jesse Marsh doesn't think that we like diversity or anything like that. It mainly felt like Marsh taking shots at Trump. And does Mauricio Pochettino give a single damn about that? No, like he's Argentine, so he doesn't care. I don't think most of the players will care. Maybe some of the conservative players on the team will be like, oh, we got to get Jesse Marsch back for that. But I don't know. Other than that, I think the biggest motivation is that Canada beat the U.S. and beat them badly last time. I think that's probably the main thing. All right, Pula, you want to highlight some more comments? Because I know I'm way behind here. Language Liga is my favorite series. No offense to your other videos. Keep it up, man. No offense taken. I appreciate that. I love making Lengua de la Liga. Some of my favorite. Not one person in America was talking about Canada being a 55. That's what I'm saying, dude. Nobody. I have friends all over the political spectrum. We were never sitting around drinking, tequila, being like, you know what we should do? Canada. I think it's time. I think we run it back. I think we just consume them as a country. And it's going to make our economy thrive. Nobody's talking like that. Trump you can't take this man seriously. If like in Canada, I'm sure in Canada. I mean, dude, he is a gaslighting master, Donald Trump. Nobody maybe ever can stir the pot quite like that man. Like anything he says is going to get talked about for like days and days and days. And you just gotta, I don't know. It's like, what's a good example? I was going to draw a parallel to like bullying in high school but I don't know if that totally rocks. My favorite videos of Dead Balls are every time he says something good about Kuwait. Only happened once. Hey, I thought you guys were going to get out of the group at the Gulf Cup, and you did. And then I thought you were going to make the final, and you didn't, but it's okay. Jack, thoughts on AC Milan losing? Can you send me... AC Milan suck ass, and do not watch them. They play boring. I say this: if João Felix starts, don't watch them. If João Felix is on the bench, go ahead and watch him. But that man is a fraud, and he just best goalkeeper in the world right now. No one seems to have the same answer. Best goalkeeper right now. Oh gosh. I don't know if I have an answer either, bro. If you put a gun to my head, I'd probably say Courtois if I had to. Oblak is still up there, but I don't think he's the best right now. He's top 3. But like, does he have a firm I'm the best? No, he doesn't. What's my man's name from Forest? Sells? Anybody else from the Prem? Nah, I don't know. David Raya, not right now. I love David Raya, but not right now. Jesse Marsch just tweaking, bro. Man, salty about not getting the U.S. men's national team. Yeah, I mean, oh God, it's like if you're Jesse Marsch, much like I have done by talking about political stuff on this stream, I have now opened the can of worms for the discussion to become political. So it's like you didn't need to say that. I don't know if he was asked that. If a journalist said Trump wants to annex Canada, your thoughts? Then I understand why he brought it up. But if he was like, if the journalist was like, so big game coming up in the final, do you have a game plan for Mauricio Pochettino? And Jesse Marsch's response was, Canada's deep-rooted in decency. Donald Trump can go F himself. If I was a journalist, I'd be like, so what formation are you going to roll out? You going to keep the same thing? Or, you know what I'm saying? I don't know the context for the answer, but you should debate Macwell, Jack. Debate him on what? On Donald Trump? I don't really want to. I don't really know what hill. Like what hill am I defending here? Drop a debate topic and I'll hit him up and see if he's interested. Let me see here. I'm not going to celebrate anything about Uzbekistan until I see them 101% qualified. They really suck in penalties. They're even worse than England, Mexico, or Colombia in penalty series. Yeah, those nations aren't very good at penalties, are they? Uzbekistan, you got to win the next game against UAE, and I think they're in. My favorite part of Deadball TV is when they hate on the Jamaican national team. Such a nice thing you won't see anywhere else. I'm just really annoyed how much they get spoken about. It's nothing against the team. It's just they get too much clout. They get way too much clout. It's like if you guys like rap music, y'all know who Coi Leray is? It was like when Coi Leray was the only rapper that was spoken about for like 3 months, despite her being terrible. And I was like, dude, do you know how many underground rappers there are right now that deserve some love? And instead, we're talking about Coi Leray. That's how I feel about Jamaica. I'm like, wait a minute. So we're not going to talk about Costa Rica. We're not going to talk about Panama. We're not going to talk about Suriname because we're still talking about Jamaican dual nats. I'm so sick of it, man. I'm so sick of it. And they haven't done anything. It's like the Lakers when the Lakers are just terrible, or like the Dallas Cowboys. Why are you on TV every day? I don't want to see you anymore. Win a Super Bowl. At least the Lakers won in the bubble. What the hell has Jamaica done? Score a goal at the Copa America? No, thank you. I'm just not subscribing to that. I bought a Jamaica shirt and they canceled my order. Even a random Egyptian store knows that hating on Jamaica is the right thing to do. I mean, they just got to do something, dude. They really do. Did I skip your question? Somebody said I skipped your question. Can you just throw it in the chat one more time? Abraham says, will you come out with a video for the preliminary roster of the Final Four? I'll be real, y'all. I ain't reacting to a 60-man roster. That's like, Jack, you're gonna react to the Browns summer league roster, right? Training camp roster. I'm sorry, like half these guys getting cut, more than half these guys getting cut. I don't care enough to make a video. This is what I do. I wake up at 9:30 every day and I say, oh damn, he made the list. And then I get up and I take a piss and I brush my teeth. I just really don't want to be talking about that. I'm surprised anybody would watch that video, to be honest. Jack, do you think agents and scouts are not open-minded enough? As an Indonesian, I think that Marcelino would excel in any CONCACAF league outside of MLS and Liga MX, or Honduran would ball in the AFC. Marcelino going to the Costa Rican league would be one of the craziest crossovers I've ever seen. That would be like when the X-Men fought the Avengers. I don't know if they fought them, but they were in a comic, I'm pretty sure. It was a crossover. That would be insane. Are scouts and agents not open-minded enough? Yes. Absolutely. Everybody has biases. And there is a bias against Asian players. There's a bias against CONCACAF players. There's a bias against players from smaller European leagues. Like, there is a bias against Georgian players. Nobody cared about those guys until the last Euro. Nobody cared about those guys until Kvaratskhelia was so good and Napoli won a Scudetto that they were like, oh, maybe we should look at that market. What's Tbilisi cooking up? This kind of ties back to the AFCON stuff earlier. It's like, we have these biases that the tournament sucks and that, winning it is not that hard. But it's like, that's not the truth, bro. Like, you got to do a little bit more research. You should watch the tournament more often. You should watch these teams play. There's so many Asian players that could play in Europe. Like, one of my favorite examples is Yazan Al-Naimad for Jordan. Do not tell me that guy cannot play in Europe, man. He can do everything. He is the Jordanian Alexander Isak. He is a ball progressing Kyrie Irving crossover striker who's got a banging shot and has the acrobatics of, I'm going to say Isak again. Don't tell me he couldn't play in Europe. He absolutely could. The problem is scouts, they might identify him as a talent, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to find somebody that they believe is a comparable archetype, and they're going to be Danish or they're going to be Belgian, and they're going to recommend that guy. Because also, think about it this way. If you're a scout, you have a reputation. Everybody has a reputation. I have a reputation as a YouTuber. If I would have made a video of right before the last Asian, what was the Jamaican logo? If I would have made a prediction video before the last Euro, right? And I said, Spain is the worst team at this tournament. And this will be the most embarrassing campaign in Spanish football history. And Luis de la Fuente will be sacked. And then Spain go on to win 7 of 7 games it's probably the most dominant Euro run we've ever seen. My reputation would take a hit because it'd be like, oh, okay, this guy had no idea what he was talking about. If I'm a scout and I tell the team, hey, we should buy this Jordanian player, we should buy this Iraqi player. And think about it. The boardroom is going to be like, you sure you want to buy an Iraqi player? Okay. You're sure you vouch for this guy? Yeah, I vouch for this guy. He's really good. I've seen him in person. Okay. We're going to get him in here. I don't know if we agree. This sounds pretty risky. We're going to get him in here. Ali Jassim Tacoma, for example. If he goes there and he doesn't pan out, guess who looks like a fool? The scout. So the scout, this is why the whole thing is effed. Because the scout doesn't want to make the mistake. The scout doesn't want to recommend an Asian player or a Honduran player and them not work out. Because then he looks bad. He looks like, okay, we trusted you. We're paying you to find talent, and you identified this guy incorrectly. So we're not going to listen to the next Honduran guy you bring to me. The next South Korean player that ends up on my desk, hell no. The last one didn't work out. Bring me a Brazilian. So everything is intertwined like that. I'm sure agents work the same way. They probably don't want to take on an Asian client because they know the salary is probably going to be lower. They know the transfer fee is going to be lower. They know it's going to be harder to get into a bigger club. So they're going to be more likely to take on European clientele. Definitely. That was a long answer. Jack got deported from Argentina. No, I'm still here. Happily here. When is Trump allowing you back? He's actually personally requested me to return multiple times, and I've turned him down. I said I'm not returning until after the CONCACAF Nations League, and then I will let him know, depending on which team wins, whether I'm going to be returning or not. And he's respected my wish since then. Brazil stream win. Like the national team? I have no idea. Next good game they have, I would love to do a stream. It's really hard to find the games, though. Who drew the thumbnail? A graphic designer that I found online. Yeah, they did a great job. Jack, Iraq play match in Palestine. Play Palestine match in Jordan. Why? Well, they can't play in Palestine, so they gotta play in Jordan. Makes sense to me. B Rizzy says, "What up, Jack? What up, B Rizzy?" If Anthony scores a hat trick against Madrid, shave your head. That's a terrible deal. That's a terrible deal. Jesus Christ. If the Jamaican FA approached me for a head coaching job, I'd have to politely decline. Let me see. Anthony masterclass this weekend. The streets ain't ready for that. Super chat from Monaco. MAD. I don't know what currency that is. Do you think Club World Cup should be canceled for AFCON to happen in the summer? I don't think the AFCON's happening in the summer because of, or I don't think the AFCON is happening when it's happening because of the Club World Cup. Is that what you're saying? Are they happening at the same time? So the Club World Cup is happening at the same time as the Gold Cup and the AFCON? God, the calendar is just completely cooked. Jack, thoughts on the potential Neymar return to Barcelona? I'm so confused by this man's career. Like, what the hell? Aren't you like back home? I imagine he's really, really happy at Santos and never wants to leave again. But if he went back to Barcelona, I mean, look, for the vibes, it would be cool, but they got Rafinha and Lamine Yamal. They don't need Neymar. And quite frankly, I don't think Neymar can play 20 league games in a season ever again. So I say just chill in Brazil, man. Keep doing Rabonas on people and just dancing and have a great time. How often do you live stream? Not often enough. I'm going to start doing this like every 3 weeks, at least once a month, just because it's fun and just jump on and talk. Watch along win. I'm going to try to do an AFC watch along. It just depends. Again, everything's very difficult to find in the United States, much less in Argentina. Like, nobody cares about AFC down here, so it's really, really hard. Even the CONMEBOL qualifiers, you got to like have Argentine cable, and like I don't have Argentine cable. I live in an Airbnb, so I don't have stuff like that. David Ornstein says Neymar returning to Barca is a possibility because he wants to return to his best for the 2026 World Cup. I get it, but just be your best in the Brasileiro and just ball out. Have like 15 goals, 12 assists. Like that would be your best too. It's the best league in South America. It's a very good league. It's a top 10 league in the world. Like just stay there. That's what I would say. But I'm not his father. Jamaican FA about to demonetize the stream straight up. Do you think Atletico will eliminate Madrid in the next round? How much chance percentage do you give them? 40% chance. It's a derby. We can't beat Real. Real can't beat us. Real have better players. We have a better strategist as the manager. I don't know where the first leg is, if it's in the Metropolitano or the Bernabeu, but I think it's going to be a really close fixture. I'm going to pick Atleti to win it because I have to. I'm going to back the guys, but yeah. How much is a month Airbnb in Buenos Aires? If you want a studio, maybe like 800. So like if you want a bougie studio, like 1,100. If the apartment's got a pool and maybe it's got a gym in the basement or something, like 1,100, something like that. If you want to like go, más económica, you could find one maybe in the south of the city for like 600. Like near, kind of like out of the touristy areas. It's a little more dangerous, but yeah. Jack secretly has a baby mama in Argentina, hence why he's moved. I am extremely responsible and do not have any baby mamas. I really just stayed for my lovely girlfriend, but also the empanadas, man. They're so freaking good here. They're like $1.50 each. Greatest food you could ever consume. I have an addiction, like a really bad addiction to empanadas and milanesa. I eat it like every day. I got some flats on sale in Kuwait for 700 USD. I just feel like Kuwait's just too hot, man. I feel like I'm gonna be sweating. I'm more of a cold-blooded. I'm a warm-blooded animal. I like to be in the mountains with the snow. I am a snow leopard. I like to be left alone where it's freezing, and it just gives me life. The heat kind of kills me, man. Sing thick of it? Sing thick of it. I don't know what that means. Damn, I forgot what a DBTV stream felt like. It's kind of a roller coaster. We're just kind of talking about whatever here. Damn, Unc looking white as white as the wall in the background. I'm actually getting like somewhat tanner because it's the summertime here. It's just I got this beaming white light on my face. But I promise it's not that bad IRL. Jack forgot the milk in Texas and left for Argentina. Jay Waludo. Oh my God. Damn up. Jack, if Anthony scores a hattie this weekend, oh my God, I'm the KSI song. I don't know the lyrics. You guys think I know the lyrics to that? Good Lord. Bro, Ice would not be able to tell. Yo. Hey, that's true though. No, I'm definitely getting away. I'm definitely getting away, bro. They pull over a public school bus, they're gonna look at me and be like, "Be on your way, sir." They ain't questioning me. No one's asking me a damn thing. I'm also an American citizen, which is very important to say, but they probably wouldn't check me regardless. Now, what does happen to me a lot is when I buy alcohol, I still get ID'd all the time. I remember one time I was at Ohio State. I graduated a semester late. So I graduated in 4.5 years. So this is my last half semester. So I think I was 22. And I went to go buy alcohol for some house party we were throwing. Second I walk out of this convenience store, there's like 3 cops. And they're like, phone ID. And they just stick out their hand like this. They're like, phone and ID. And I'm like, okay. So I hand them my ID. And they're like, the real one. And I'm like, that's the real one. And they're like, you want to play games? And I'm like, I'm not playing games. And they're like, this is your last chance. I'm like, that's my ID. And they're like, okay, we need you to come with us. So they basically escort me into this car. And then as soon as we get to the car, they turn super chill while they're like scanning my ID and stuff. And they're like, "So what'd you buy tonight?" I was like, "Honestly, the cheapest stuff in there. I don't really care. I'm more of a vodka guy." And they're like, "Oh, that's disgusting." But I used to do that in college, blah, blah, blah. Then the guy gives me my ID back, and the other cop comes back. And he's like, "Yeah, it's real." And I'm like, "Yes, yeah, I told you it's real." He was like, "Sorry, bro, you got a baby face." And they just let me go. But I was like basically detained for like, it took a while to scan that ID. I don't know, 7 minutes, something like that. I'm like, Jesus, I got to get back. Party starting in 20 minutes. Yeah, that still happens a lot. One time last year, I was at the gym, which looking back makes this even worse. And some guy came up from like a sales rep, giving out free samples and stuff. And he was like, "Hey, I work with blah, blah, blah company," something like a Monster equivalent or a Celsius, something like that, but a rival company. Had this drink. Would you want to take a sample of it? We can give you a can. I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And he's like, I have to ask you though first, like, are you 18? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm 27. And he was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Cool, cool." He's like, "I wasn't sure, man. Yeah, like, you just got a baby face." Again, like the baby face thing. And then the girl was with him. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm 27 too." And I was like, "You look 40." No, I'm kidding. I didn't tell her that. But yeah, that was another time. I don't know. I guess my genetics either cursed me or blessed me, depending on how you want to look at it. Bro is definitely one of those Mexicans who gets called Chino. You know what's really funny about that is you're so spot on, but they don't call me Chino in Argentina. But they do call me Chino in Mexico. They called me Chino in Ecuador. They called me Chino in Peru. But they didn't call me Chino in Argentina. I've never been called Chino here. They just ask me, "Where are you from? ¿De dónde sos?" That's what they ask me. But they never say like, "Oh, Japonés," or like, "Oh, Coreano," or "Oh, Chino." But they do say that with every other Latin American country that I've been to. Sorry. I'm scrolling down. I'm skipping so many questions. I'm so sorry. Jack do the Trump dance? I don't know what the Trump dance. I mean, I saw Pulisic do it, but I don't know how to do it. I need to drop a tutorial link in the chat. I'll watch it. Danny Ceballos out for 2 months. Scrub anyways. Real win on penalties? Don't say that, bro. We're getting back to Atleti versus Real stuff. Jamaican gangs at your door. I'm not welcome in Kingston. Like, for sure. Jack finna make the next Santi Jimenez for the 2047 World Cup. Yo, that's diabolical, dude. That is diabolical. Is my girlfriend's name Pulley? Why the hell would it be Pulley? Man, I'll say that. Imagine you like go on a date, right? Or not even a date. No. Imagine you're at the club, you're at a bar, see a beautiful woman. You go up to her, you're talking to her, and I ask her name, and she says Pulley. I'd be like, God damn it. Well, we can never be a thing. I'm not dating a girl whose name is Pulisic, the star boy of my main op. I just couldn't do that. Other names that I couldn't date. Beatrice. Just sounds old. You know what I'm saying? Not interested. What's another one? Maybe girls named after plants. Rose. Again, just sounds like an aunt. What's another one? Another name I couldn't date. Haven't had good luck with Jasmine's. Dave is that's a great one to add to the list. Yeah, any girl named Dave, probably her and I are not going to be a thing. At least not for very long. What other names do I not like? I think that's it. Bro hates unique names. I'm just very modern with my names, dude. I just don't. Jesus Gallardo, though. I would not date somebody named Jesus Gallardo for sure. I just want, the old school stuff is cool. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. I like my architecture in my girl's name to be modern. Everything else, yeah, we can do throwbacks. That's cool. Just not with those two things. That's where I draw the line. Jack Get that gold card from Trump. I'm an American citizen. ICE is not deporting me, and I do not have to apply for the gold card to get back into the goddamn country. Where's my passport? Somebody throw me my passport. Oh my God. Jack is too innocent for this world. So you guys think that. It's just a front I put on. I'm actually a savage in real life. Very random comment that I appreciate. I need Richard Rios to make a big move somewhere. I'm shocked he didn't move after the Copa America. I don't know. It could be because he's Colombian. Could be because the transfer fee was too much. I am not 33, bro. What the hell? Why do tourists hate passing by Mexico? Hate passing by Mexico. Mexico's very popular with tourists. I wouldn't say that they hate Mexico at all. I think Mexico has a reputation for being dangerous, but there's something called drug cartels that exist there, and they will kill you if you are not smart. So it's a warranted reputation. Everyone always asking Jack's age. He's 33. Crazy, dude. Was the drink I was offered prime? Could have been. It could have been prime, actually. I took a couple sips and it sucks, so I just threw it away. Jack, ICE came to my school and they took all the Atleti fans to North Korea. I don't think North Korea is part of our ICE deportation protocol, and they probably don't want anybody either. They're probably like, no, thank you. We would like our very controlled population. We're not introducing people from the outside. All right, that know what it's really like. Bro does not have papers. I have too many papers. What's needed for Madrid to be consistent? How about a back line that's not ravaged by injury? That would be the biggest thing for Real Madrid. Manny says, yo, what's going on, Unk? Jesus. God. I really am reaching Unk status. It's insane. Okay, now I'm getting to all the names. Tiffany, that's kind of a red. Bombito is a pretty sexy name, TBH. It's a great name. Bombito, that's one of the most fire surnames I've ever heard. Sakura? Just because of Naruto? Yes, I'm not dating a Sakura. Any name that is both male or female? I feel like Jordan. Jordans can be girls and Jordans can be guys. There's probably a few others there too. Can guys be called Kelsey, or is that only girls? Chat, let me know. Jack, what's your name in Mexico? I got the same name, bro. It's not like I just cross a country line and all of a sudden I'm Jacobo or something. You know, it's like name stays the same. They might not be able to say Jack because that name doesn't really exist. They're probably going to call me Jacques, like SHACK. Jesus Christ. Jack, are you the type of Mexican American L3 fan that hates the US or the type that has a small sweet spot? I mean, I generally like the US as long as they're not playing Mexico. And I don't root for them when they play Japan either. And I think the more I get into YouTube, the less I support the US because one, there's just so many people already doing that. Y'all don't really need me in that corner. And also it is a rivalry. And also sometimes US fans annoy me. Now Mexico fans annoy me too, but it's fun to throw punches. I got a friend named Kelsey. He is depressed. What a completely irrelevant fact about your friend due to his name. Although I am sorry and hope he, I don't know, picks up a hobby or something and starts having fun. Tell him to watch Deadball TV. It's proven to cure depression. Connor is also reaching Unk status. Connor was at Unk status like 4 years ago. God damn it. Another João Felix question? Hey, Jack, what are your thoughts on Felix at Milan? He's finished. He's effing finished. God, he's been finished. The amount of profile pictures that still have João Felix on Twitter is crazy given how ass he is. Doesn't make any sense. Never did a girl named Moises. Yeah, probably not. Probably wouldn't do that. Connor's at grandpa levels. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Well, hey, look, Americans pronounce things how we want, right? We're the greatest military on earth. You'll show us some goddamn respect. We pronounce things how we want. Nobody polices the United States. What do you think João Felix left butt cheek? It's probably pretty, I don't know. That man looks skinny. He probably barely has an ass, to be honest. That dude does not lift weights. Come on. Jack, you used to be jacked. The other Jack is right. The only reason we talk about João Felix is because he's a pretty boy and he kind of fits the Timothée Chalamet archetype. Like, if he wasn't attractive, nobody would be. Might disconnected. I'll do like 2 more here and then I'm going to leave. Jack, you used to be jacked. I think I'm actually bigger now than I was before. You guys just don't see me in those zoomed out cameras anymore. But I think I hit 235. 3 sets of 4 last night on bench. Pretty good. Today's leg day, so it is what it is. I busted my legs super bad playing pickup here in Buenos Aires. Like, that shit's kept me out for 3 weeks. I've been able to run, but I can't lock my knee out. Well, now I can, but so I've been doing like very lightweight on legs. Does it annoy you, all this talk about Ballon d'Or, when it always just comes down to whoever wins the most? Yeah, I mean, this is actually the last thing I think I'm going to respond to because it might take me a second. The voters are not educated, which is kind of ironic because they are journalists, right? And whoever else gets to vote for stuff like that. But I really do not think that they're educated. And football is already a difficult enough sport to analyze. So what does everybody do? They just default to trophies and they default to stats, but nobody takes into account circumstance. This was my biggest issue with Florian Wirtz last season. Florian Wirtz had a way better season than Vinicius Jr. It wasn't even close. Impact for his team, the fact that he made history, his overall team record. Guy lost, 1 game in the Europa League final? And he wasn't in the top 10 for Ballon d'Or. It's just ridiculous. Like, he probably should have won it last year. And now you look at him this year. He's got 7 GA in the group phase of the Champions League. Leverkusen are back in second. He's got 20 GA in the league again, and no one's going to care. No one's going to care. On top of him passing the eye test, people are always going to look at the Premier League, the Champions League only, and they're going to look at Real Madrid and Barcelona, and they're going to say, okay, who's got the best stats from these? And that's how we make the decisions. I'm not saying Mo Salah shouldn't be top 3 this season because he absolutely should be. But it's not a good comprehensive voting process, and there's no qualification or like a pre-screening almost to be able to vote. So I don't know. Like, I don't know all these journalists. You guys don't know all these journalists either. Do they watch every single league, or do they just watch the Prem? Do they just watch La Liga? Are they only Serie A journalists? I don't know, because for me, you should probably kind of watch everything if you're going to vote, no? Why do we want somebody who's only a Premier League expert voting for the Ballon d'Or? Do you watch the Champions League? Do you watch Serie A? Have you seen other teams play this season, or have you just been watching the Prem? I don't know. That's why I think, not that I have the best ball knowledge in the world. There's so much stuff I don't know, especially Bundesliga, Liga, totally out of my depth. Serie A there, no. I know the Prem and La Liga very well. But I do watch the Champions League, and I watch these guys with international football. And so that's why I see them in different circumstances. I see them in multiple competitions, and then I can say, okay, I think this guy, he's probably been the best player in 3 different competitions for his team and his national team, he should probably be up there. Not just, oh, Real Madrid won the Champions League, so we have to give it to a Real Madrid player. What if a Real Madrid player wasn't the best player? What if they were just really good as a team? You don't have to give it to them just because they won. I would love to see a world where somebody, maybe they don't win anything as an individual that year, except for individual accolades, and they still win. That'd be great, right? Like, I think I've said this example before. If you make the final of the Champions League and you lose and you finish second in La Liga, should you be disqualified from the Ballon d'Or? If you're the best player, you're the best player. If you're carrying your team and you guys just lost in the final, you shouldn't be penalized for that. So it is a little exhausting because it's very Champions League focused, and it is so Premier League and La Liga biased that it just bothers me, because I'm like, it's lazy. We're just taking the easy way out. We're not trying to have a real conversation about this stuff. That's why I thought the Vinny shouts were just crazy. Also because he's terrible for the Brazilian national team. So you can't be the Ballon d'Or if you don't perform for your national team. I'm sorry. You don't have to win the Copa with Brazil, but you got to be at least average. He's not even average. That shouldn't matter. But for some people, it doesn't, because it's not the Prem, it's not the Champions League, and it's not La Liga. I think I'm going to end the stream there, guys. Change title to DBTV Slander Jack Live. Please do a countdown to end the stream. Well, the countdown starts now. 10-second countdown. I appreciate all you guys for jumping on. I appreciate the Jamaican Football Federation for sponsoring this live stream as well. You know, I got nothing but love for Brazil. Sorry, I read Brazil in the comments, and then I was trying to finish my sentence. For Jamaica. Yeah, guys, I'm going to be doing this again pretty frequently. This wasn't supposed to be a 15K live stream. It just happened to match up like that. I might do this again in 2 weeks. Might do it again in a month. Kind of just depends. Make sure that you have notifications turned on for the channel, and make sure you follow me at the Jackson on Twitter, because I will always be talking about it there. Make sure you're following DBTV too. Those are generally the channel announcements are on that page, and then my individual thoughts are on my Twitter. Follow us on Instagram too, because I'm going to post on the stories and you guys can see everything there. So appreciate you guys jumping in here and talking ball and whatever else, whatever godforsaken questions you guys ask me. I'll see you guys again on the channel very soon. Lots of really good videos coming out. Very excited for that. Think you guys are going to like it. Yeah. Appreciate all you guys for the support nonstop for the channel, and I'll see you guys again soon. Okay.